This is Mark Snider. It's Friday morning, 9 a.m., and time for Chamber Chatter on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. What is Chamber Chatter? Well, it's a monthly roundtable discussion with today's Long Island business leaders. It's been underwritten by MapTunes, Long Island Chamber Maps. I have three guests joining me today via Zoom technology. They are Tyler Sloves, ambassador and board member for the Melville Chamber of Commerce. John Hill, he's the founder and CEO of the Long Island Advancement of Small Business, the LIASB. And Besim Cukaj, president of the Southampton Chamber of Commerce. Tyler, John, Besim, welcome to Chamber Chatter. Let's get right into it. John, I'm going to start with you. You founded the Long Island Advancement for Small Business in October of 2009.
That's correct.
Talk to me about your motivation to get the group started and the role the organization serves.
2008, I was involved with many of the organizations on Long Island, and they all talked about helping small business, but nobody did anything about it. I put together a program, a business plan. I said I brought it to two people that I know very well. One was a psychologist, another was an engineer, and they grilled me for an hour and 15 minutes at the local diner about what I had put in the business plan. And one gentleman said, "I think you have something here. I think I want to do it." And that was, I'm going on the 11th year I'm in business. And what we do is the Long Island Advancement of Small Business is a 501c3. We work with Long Island small business to help them grow and prosper through networking and educational business programs. That's what we do. And in this day and age, if you don't stay up with the latest in technology, social media, sales and marketing, you'll fall by the wayside, especially on Long Island. That's basically what we do.
It's been recently reported that 1 in 6 small businesses on Long Island has been lost to the COVID-19 pandemic. Your thoughts on that?
Well, most of the people in my organization are what we refer to as the second story members. They're not the restaurants and so forth. So, although I know a lot of people are in the restaurant business, but what I've had more people move from off Long Island. That's what I've lost 4 or 5 people. Some moved to Florida, some moved to Texas, and some moved to North Carolina. Okay, because they just couldn't take it anymore. Considering the fact that New York State is rated 50th as far as helping, as far as supporting small businesses, it's one of the reasons that they left. That's for sure.
Do you partner with the local chambers of commerce? What's your relationship like? Because there are quite a few on Long Island.
Yeah, there's 1 or 2 the Smithtown Chamber, and there's one other that's run by a member of my organization. And I tried to talk to some of the chambers, but they seem to have their own story. They do their own thing. And I just felt that we supply a different capability. We supply education. A lot of the other organizations don't.
I'm going to keep drilling down here a little bit because I'm still not 100% clear on what you're doing for the local business. So what's a typical day like for you?
Well, we have 1 or 2 events a month, and what we do is we network with the members. We at 8 o'clock in the morning we get on board and we introduce all the members, and then we have a person who is a guest speaker, and we speak for 45 minutes, and then they respond to questions for the next 15 minutes. So most of the other organizations have maybe a 20 or 30 minute presentation where we do a whole 45 minutes to an hour. And what we do is we educate members, and that's what they want to hear. And we send out different forms finding out what they do, what they want to hear, what they're interested in learning. Like one thing in particular is Microsoft 365. And I have the president of the International Association of Microsoft Chamber, Robert Kruzecki, and he usually comes and gives a presentation as well.
So were you like a large networking group?
Yeah, we could say we're a networking group, but we're an educational group primarily.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you and talk some more in a bit. Tyler, when we first spoke, your words to me were, and I'm quoting you, the Melville Chamber is the greatest chamber on Long Island. What makes you say that?
Well, I don't know if I use the term greatest, maybe most active. We've always been very, very active. Before COVID, we were active with regards to events. The model that we developed was a model of groups within the chamber. So we have a women's group, so groups of peers, okay? We have a next gen, which is the young professionals, a lot of millennials. We also have a business resource roundtable. We also recently developed a inclusion and diversity platform as well. So with those groups, we do not only education as John does at the LIASB, which is very important, but we also do mentoring. We work with academia, government, and corporate nonprofit. And we also work with other organizations and break down the silos between organizations and also all of these government agencies and schools. We have 14 colleges on Long Island, and we try to find the key people within these organizations, within academia, government, SBA, for instance, which is right across the street from us, one of the offices at the SUNY Farmingdale campus. And we develop programs where we can do internships, we can get our big membership, because we're on the 110 corridor. We're on the business corridor of Long Island. And I'm sure you're familiar with that corridor. It's not a typical Main Street chamber. It's a chamber of businesses, but we also do have caterers. We have restaurants, and we're able to utilize, before COVID, the vendors of these places so that we can have a lot of networking. Networking is very important in business and also to facilitate commerce, because that's where folks find jobs. That's where businesses make deals. So networking, when you asked John before, is he a networking group? I think most of these organizations try to make a big component of their organizations networking, and because that's an important way to facilitate business. So when I said that we're active, pre-COVID, we were very active because we had 4 or 5 events at different venues. So for instance, the Business Roundtable, once a month, we would find a location to go to, whether it be a factory, a business, whether it be manufacturing, retail, restaurant. And we would have a person come on for about 20 minutes, give a presentation, not a commercial, for their product, something that would be resourceful for other members. And the whole idea of the Business Roundtable is engagement, to get those folks to engage that are coming, that are showing up at the roundtable. And so I became a pretty good facilitator at that. I would ask my own questions just to get everybody to chime in. And that's my baby. That's what I do. The roundtable events, when I did them live, I do them digitally now. We have a fantastic women's group. Each group has co-chairs and committee members, and the groups have their own events. So we have after-hours events, evening networking, more casual, relaxed type networking. And then we have morning events that are also very networking-ish at the breakfast point, the first 15, 20 minutes. And then we'll get into the presentation of who we're featuring and who's sponsoring the breakfast and so on. We also, aside from that, have 2 major events. One is our Business Expo, a B2B, usually at the Hilton Hotel on 110. Last one we had was 2019, right before COVID. We had 1,200 attendees. They had to close the parking lot at the Hilton. We had 110 vendors, B2B, And we had lots of media, entertainment, radio stations were involved, Cox Media. We had videographers showcasing sponsors. It was a fabulous event. And we had also had a diversity pavilion that we set up. And it was at no cost to the LGBT network, to African American Chamber of Commerce, to the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And so we brought all of that together for the first time in 2019. And we continue to do that with our digital platform, with the inclusion and diversity platform as well. So again, look, I'm not going to use Muhammad Ali's expression, "we are the greatest," but to be honest with you, we partner with a lot of organizations. We partner with HIA, we partner with Vision, we partner with a lot of folks. We're going to have Vision on tomorrow, not tomorrow, later in the month, at an event. It's important, as I said before, to break down the silos between us all. Now more than ever, we were doing this for years, but now with COVID, it's so important to work together, and I welcome the opportunity, John, to partner with you, with the Melville Chamber of Commerce, because, Mark, when you asked the question, do you talk to the other chambers? And he mentioned a couple of chambers, and, I'm more than happy to pick up a dialogue after this and get you involved and be involved with your organization as well, to try to help you. Our mantra is help everyone, help others, help the organization, help the underserved communities, help the business, the minority businesses, okay? Help the women owned businesses. This is what we want to do. And we're a hub, and we want to make this hub diversified. We want to make this hub inclusive and very active, and build our economy back. All right.
So to my listening audience, that's quite a list of initiatives. And now you know why Melville Chamber is the greatest chamber on Long Island. A little misleading, the name, by the way, Melville Chamber. You actually represent quite a large geographical area.
Yes. Well, we have 4 zip codes technically, Huntington Station, Melville. It's really called the Melville East Farmingdale Chamber of Commerce. And then we have West Babylon. But I can be honest with you, we're the whole island. We really should be the Long Island Chamber of Commerce. But I think I mentioned to you, in doing some searches, I found out that the LIA incorporated in 1927, I believe is the year, the Long Island Chamber of Commerce, and then changed the name to the LIA, Long Island Association. Very interesting. A little trivia. Yeah. But we do cover all of the whole region, all of Long Island, and even into the boroughs. Believe it or not, we have folks coming now from White Plains, from the boroughs, because we're so much involved with all the other organizations. The African American Chamber of Commerce, my dear friend Phil Andrews, we had him on a few weeks ago, and I'm a member through my day job. Of the Long Island African American Chamber, and that has 16 counties. It's not just the Long Island Chamber, it's 16 New York counties. It's the second largest, actually the largest African American Chamber of Commerce in the country.
We've had Phil on our program before, so familiar. We're going to come back to you, Tyler, talk a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Besim,
Hello.
You're just days away from the start of the summer season in the Hamptons, and I think things are about to get crazy, especially coming off the year we just had.
There's still 3 weeks.
Yeah, so I said you're
there's
just
still
days
3
away.
weeks. All right, we treasure these 3
Let's
weeks.
see. Today's the 20th, so you're probably less than 3 weeks.
Oh yes.
So
You're right.
anyway, how different do you expect things to be this year compared to a year ago?
Well, it seems that we still have the population that came out last year as a result of COVID. Everybody flocked to the Hamptons. Rentals are few and far between again this year as they were last year. The real estate market sales have gone through the roof, up 30-40% in not only volume, but also in some prices. it's really amazing what has transpired out here, especially from 2018 to 2019, where we were really truly going back to the basically Father's Day to Labor Day. We would have people come out for Memorial Day, but really it wasn't until the schools were out, and that's when people really came out here. And the rest of the months were quiet. We experienced a drought out here in the Hamptons as far as tourism for 18 and 19, and it's much stronger now, not only for the summer months but for the year-round community as well.
We had the Shelter Island Chamber of Commerce on last month, and they told a similar story. A small island with a year-round population, about 3,000. And they said they added 500 new residents during the pandemic, which is a lot. If your population is only 3,000, adding 500, it really taxed the school system, right?
Sure.
Taxed the local restaurants. So probably a similar situation with you, where you found a real boom in the local population.
Yes, everything, and we're also having trouble this year finding employees. A lot of businesses are struggling. Restaurants are looking for cooks and waiters and bussers and bartenders and home. I have a few clients from my day job that are asking me, do I know anybody that can nanny, that can, whatever they can find someone that's trustworthy, that's reliable, loyal, and it's going to be a tough season out here as far as that's concerned.
Yeah. Hey, we have a minute or so before we take a break. Tell me a little bit about your chamber. It seems like it takes a Herculean effort to run, especially in getting to the summer months. It takes a Herculean effort to run your group. Tell me a little bit about the chamber.
Well, we're not as probably great as the Melville chamber, but we like
that moniker is going to stick, Tyler.
I think we're definitely one of the larger chambers out here on the East End, at least. We have Sag Harbor and Montauk and Shelter Island, like you said, and a few of these other smaller. But some of our members span from Huntington. They come from Huntington out here to work, and they have businesses. They have clients out here, and they come to our networking nights. They come to our different events that we had pre-COVID. We had the breakfast meetings that were very, very popular. And we, from Huntington to Montauk, it was our kind of mantra or area of, what do you call it? Geography. Focus. So okay. We try to do a lot of things. We are not a large organization by any means. We have Karen, who's our executive director. She handles a lot of this stuff, and she usually only has about one or two assistants. And then that's usually for the summertime. We also do a pretty large farmers market, which is very popular, and the residents of Southampton are very happy about. That has fortunately been able to continue through the pandemic or whatever, because it's considered essential. We're doing drive-in movies well before the pandemic made it popular. Right. We've put that on hold since so many other people are doing it, and we saw a big decline last year in our attendance at our drive-in movies. And we try to do whatever we can as far as, a golf outing. We have some great, obviously, golf courses out here or whatever. And that's what we try to focus on, what the Hamptons is all about, and exploiting that in any way that we can.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to play Genie in a Bottle. And that's where we find out the 3 wishes that you have for your business organization. This is 88.1 FM and WCWP.org, and you're listening to Chamber Chatter.
WCWP is your home for great music and great conversation. You'll find all that and more on WCWP.org. Listen live on the web, check out the lineup, subscribe to podcasts, and stay up to date on the latest station events. Get in touch with us and let us know if you like what you're hearing. And find out how you can support or get involved at the only community public radio station serving Nassau's North Shore. Plus, sign up to get a free bumper sticker. It's all online at WCWP.org.
Okay, we're back. This is Chamber Chatter on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. My name is Mark Snider. Chamber Chatter is a monthly roundtable discussion with today's Long Island business leaders, and it's been underwritten by MapTunes, Long Island Chamber Maps, and by the MapTunes Shoppers Discount app. With over 2,500 discounts island-wide, you can download the MapTunes app. That's MapTunes, MapToons. Or you can simply visit shoppersdiscountcard.com. My three business leaders with me today are Tyler Sloves, ambassador and board member for the Melville Chamber of Commerce. John Hill, he's the founder and CEO of the Long Island Advancement of Small Business. And Besim Cukaj, he's the president of the Southampton Chamber of Commerce. Gentlemen, it's time to play Genie in a Bottle. We're going to find out what three wishes you have for your business organization. Tyler, I'm going to start with you. Let's say you're going for a walk in the West Hills Nature Preserve. You know where that is?
Yes, I do. Love nature.
And along the path, you spot a lantern. You pick it up, you give it a rub, and out pops a genie granting three wishes for the Melville Chamber of Commerce. What are you wishing for?
So for the organization itself or for the Long Island region, what? You're talking about the organization.
For the Chamber of Commerce, yeah. What are your three needs?
Well, my first wish would be that we have a good model already, but there's always room for improvement. And my first wish would be to improve or build or create an organization that others that could be a model for others that lift the quality of life for its citizens, for its region, for the folks that we serve. That's like an overall wish. And a passion of mine is to lift the quality of lives for folks with whatever platform you can get your hands on. And I just happen to get my hands on this one. And I'm doing all kinds of things with the board and with the folks that founded it to try to lift the quality of life. So wish number one, become a model for others, for other organizations to lift the quality of life on Long Island. My other wish would be to help our younger generations that are coming and to have the organization develop mentorship programs, jobs for young folks coming out of college, keeping our young folks here on Long Island. And that's another part of the model that I would, rub the bottle for the genie to come out and help us with. We're working on it. It takes a lot of resources, a lot of connections, a lot of collaboration, buy-in. And I want to, as I said earlier, we work with academia, government, and nonprofit and for-profit organizations here on Long Island to do these things. So wish number one, better quality of life through what the first one I said was to develop a model that everyone else could follow. Second would be for the youth, for the next generations to come. And that would be coming out of our colleges. My real wish is the third and probably most strongest wish is to have an effect on the region with regards to inclusion and diversity. Our demographics are changing rapidly, and I believe that as the statistics show, we are one of the most diverse regions in the country, yet the most segregated, the 10th most segregated. So my wish would be that we all come together, every culture, all people, This organization creates a model for that as well. That's one of the reasons we created the platform for that. I would like to see other organizations follow that and follow through with that.
Tyler, your second wish regarding the younger population and figuring out how to keep them here on the island. Mm-hmm. That's one wish that we hear a lot when I pose this question. So you're right on the money, and you're not alone. John, your organization's been around for 12 years now.
11 years. Going 11 years.
11. You're into your 12th, right?
No, I'm in my 11th year.
You're 11, so my math is off. So as you enter your second decade as an organization, what are your three wishes?
When I read this question, I went to the board and I said, I would like to get some input from some of the board members of what they think. And I got, things like increased attendance, diversify size of business, type of businesses such as manufacturing, business to business. I wish that more people understood what small business means, because 99.9% of the business in the whole United States are all small business. And a small business is not a company less than 500 employees. But when you talk small business, they don't want to be known as small business. It's sad, but true. And I would love to have an attendance by a diverse group of small business owners of all ages and sizes. And I've reached out to a number of different groups and tried to get them to come on board as well. And we'd like to have publicity, all our events. I used to Long Island Business News. I used to send a notice to them every month. Now they don't publish them anymore. And I try to send it to different people that put their information up for 516 ads and NIMBA and a few other organizations I send the information to. That's basically it.
John,
incentivize charter schools and emphasize teaching skills rather than social concepts. We have a failing educational system, and we all do is pump more money into it and stifle its competition. And I think that's true. That's basically what I do.
John, you may already be doing this, but I think just about every Chamber of Commerce on Long Island sends out a weekly or monthly e-blast. And I bet if you forwarded your information to the Chamber, they'd be more than happy to include it in their e-blasts when they go out. You may not bat 1,000, but they're always looking for content to include in their newsletters.
Well, I hope that their attitude has changed, because I used to send it out on a regular basis to many of the chambers, and I never got a response. But I will intend to do that again.
Okay. All right, Besim. So you're taking a stroll along the Atlantic Ocean at Shinnecock East County Park. You know where that is?
Oh, yes.
And you see a bottle in the sand. When you pick it up, a genie comes out, grants you 3 wishes for the Southampton Chamber of Commerce. What are you asking for?
Well, there's definitely been a disconnect between the local business community and the government here. A lot of business owners nowadays are very, very busy trying to stay alive and just survive. And it would be nice to have a little bit more of a connection between the local governments and the business. It would be nice to try and make that connection, whereas business owners can voice their opinion and have actual government representatives listen and maybe make some changes. One beautiful village, whatever, that's next door to us, Westhampton Beach, they are improving improving immensely. They brought in a sewer district. They've opened up a ton of new shops. They've opened up a ton of new little cafes, a ton of new restaurants. And I'm not saying that that's the answer for Southampton, but there's a lot of businesses here that would like to see something done as far as a community-wide project or improvement to our downtown. And I think that's one wish. A second wish would be improvements with our educational connection as far as businesses and the community is with the schools and the libraries. That's, I think, also, I think in the past, business owners were a lot more connected with their local education and schools. So I think it's not three wishes, but it's maybe one big wish of more communication, more connection between the local businesses and the government and other, schools and organizations that are not exactly run by a, for example, a business type model. They're more of a, larger tax-based organization. And, it seems that there isn't an understanding between the two. And it would be nice to make that connection, have that communication open up again.
Besim, the relationship with government is attainable. The reason I say that is we've been doing this program for 3 years now, and I would say about half of the chambers have a good working relationship with their local village, the local township, and the other half are like you, and they wish for a better relationship. So I think it's attainable. Mm-hmm. The other thing I want to suggest to you, and a couple of chambers have done this, they have reached out to the local PTAs at the schools, and they've managed to bring some of these PTA presidents in, not only into their chamber, but for example, Rockville Center comes to mind, where one of the PTA presidents is a high-ranking board member. What that has done for the chamber has gotten them an in, and in this case, it's with the high school, Southside High School, and they started doing a bunch of promotions with the PTA and the local businesses. So they got the families of the students involved, and then they got other chambers at maybe the junior high and some of the local elementary schools. And they really built up a bit of a groundswell within their chamber of PTA members. So maybe an angle for you to go is to reach out to the local PTA president and say, I'd like to invite you to come down to one of our meetings.
Thank you.
And there may be some synergies there as well. Okay. We've got a little bit of time here, so I just want to ask each one of you. John, I'm going to start with you. Tell me about one success story under your leadership that you are most proud of with the LIASB.
There are so many that I like to talk about, but one in particular was a man was looking for a person to run his production facility, and he came to me, and he had gone through a bunch of people, and I knew of a person that was losing his job, and he was ideal production person, and I recommended it to him, and he took it, and the president came to me. He said, "I am so pleased with this man. Thank you so much." And that was one of the things they did. I thought that was fantastic that it really worked out well. Yeah.
It's a good feeling when you can bring that together,
That's right. It is. I just enjoyed it very much. Yeah.
And Bess, I'm going to come back to you. What about you? Give me a success story that you're proud of.
Well, I haven't been a leader for very long. I just started. Just took over last year as president. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I kind of think of myself as a success story. I started this business 23 years ago. I had a business partner. Unfortunately, we didn't see eye to eye. I took over a month before the stock market crashed in 2008. It was a struggle. It was tough. We got hit with a tobacco tax, which really, really killed, especially as the online businesses started to get moving and really increase their business.
Besim, let me interrupt you for 1 second. What kind of business are you talking about?
Cigar store.
Cigar store. Okay.
And I'm sorry. And I kept at it, and here I am 13 years later, and business has never been better. And I mean, we still have that heavy tax, but I'm glad that I stuck through it, and the market is strong, and we're really, really happy to stay to be in business, which was something that I considered closing up a long time ago, and maybe looking at it from outside of the box, I probably should have, but I didn't. I stuck with it, blood, sweat, and tears, and here I am, years later. But I'm much better.
Did you find that during the pandemic, people tended to smoke more? It's kind of a relaxing.
Yeah, I think similar.
Vice, I guess.
Yeah, I think similar to liquor. A lot of people used it as kind of a pastime to kind of quell the fears and the unknowns. I'm sure that there isn't really too many people alive that have ever lived through a pandemic, or the last pandemic, which was in 1918. Well, it was 1918. Yeah, there you go. So that's over 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, we got a short minute here before we take a break. Give me one success story that involves you in the Melville Chamber.
Well, I have to say that we're in the midst of one right now. It's we've obtained our first intern that I facilitated, and it relates back to what you had mentioned earlier about keeping our young folks here. And her mom's wish was for her to stay here when her professors were all telling her that to be a local news reporter, you're going to have to start up in Ithaca someplace. And I said, that's not true. We're going to change that. And I got her as an intern. She's on our Melville Chamber YouTube channel, which I think everybody should take a look at, whoever's listening. It's amazing. Her name is Star Fuentes. She's got the name for it. And she's done some unbelievable reporting and stories for the LIRR, for book fairs, for nonprofits. And she's just an amazing, she does our events. She does a video of our events that she edits and produces. And we even have the microphone flag with the Melville Chamber on it that we got for her. So that's
great.
the biggest success story, is that keeping our young people here, internships, connecting our business owners within the chamber with interns. That's where it's at.
Yeah, that's similar to what John was just talking about.
Yep.
So, all right, up next, it's Ask a Leader, and that's where I'll stop asking the questions, and I'm going to let each of you take the mic. It's Chamber Chatter on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. We'll be right back.
Take WCWP with you wherever you go with the WCWP app. Listen live 24/7 to all of our streams, all from one app. Plus, call the studios directly from the app and visit our social media. Download the app through the iOS App Store on Apple devices or the Google Play Store on Android by searching WCWP Radio, or visit WCWP.org for links. The WCWP app, available now on iOS and Android devices.
This is Chamber Chatter on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. I'm Mark Snider. Chamber Chatter is a monthly roundtable discussion with today's Long Island business leaders. It's been underwritten by MapTune's Long Island Chamber Maps. Let me reintroduce my guest with me today. We have Tyler Sloves. He's the ambassador and board member of the Melville Chamber of Commerce. John Hill is with us today. He's the founder and CEO of the Long Island Advancement of Small Business. And Besim Cukaj, he's the president of the Southampton Chamber of Commerce. Okay, it's time to ask a leader. And this is where I turn over the microphone and I let our guests ask the questions. And Tyler, when I told you that Besim was going to be on our program from the Southampton Chamber, you said, great, I've got a question for him. Well, here's your chance. He's right here.
Well, Besim, I think we talked during the break, and we had some technical difficulties, but I had asked you about last year when I was on with the Suffolk Alliance of Chambers, your view of what was going on. I felt kind of upset and concerned about out east because the shutdown happened in March. The season was coming for the Hamptons and those areas out there. And I heard lots of chambers from out there very concerned that they weren't able to open up for their season. They were halfway through the season by the time they got the ability to open up, and especially the restaurants, the resorts, the folks that were coming for the summertime, you had answered it earlier during the break that you actually did more business during the year because of some of the things you were forced to do because of the pandemic. A lot of the businesses did some innovative things. So I'll let you answer that question again.
Sure. Thanks, Tyler. Basically, yes, everybody got shut down in the beginning of the spring last year, and there was a lot of concern of what was going to happen. And if you remember, we were only supposed to be shut down for 2 weeks. That was the first communication we got from our governments, and that's lasted a lot longer than what they expected. But a lot of the businesses out here were able to bounce back. Fortunately, we have had an influx of residents and tourists that weren't able to travel anywhere else. A lot of people that would normally travel outside of the country were forced to come out here, or maybe say the Jersey Shore, or go upstate, or the Berkshires, or somewhere of that nature. So we experienced a nice influx of business out here that we probably wouldn't have normally seen. And then on top of that, later on through the year, the fall months, which is one of the most beautiful times of the year out here, because you have the lovely colors of the trees and everything. You have the harvest. You have the different activities as far as apple picking and pumpkin picking, and the wineries are in full force, both on the North Fork and the South Fork. And it was, I think, a little bit of a blessing for a lot of these businesses out here. And a lot of them, if you talk to some of them, they're tired. They're not used to working the full year at full capacity, full summer capacity, like they probably experienced last year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this summer. I think we're going to have somewhat of a repeat. I don't think that there's still a lot of places where people can travel to outside of the country. Obviously, Florida and some of the southern states are probably going to get too hot, and they're going to want to come back up here and enjoy our beautiful beaches and our beautiful parks and everything else that we have to offer. Thank you for the question.
Welcome.
All right, John, we have leaders from two very successful chambers of commerce with us today. What would you like to ask them?
Who do I send the information to have you come to some of my meetings? That's what I need to know. I think I got it from Tyler, and I think I got it from Besim. That's all I need, and I would be glad to send them information.
Well, that's really a question that we can handle off the air, but was there anything else you wanted to know from either one of the presidents with you today, one of the leaders?
Not really. I've been to a number of chamber meetings, okay, and I'm very impressed with them. I just wish that I could get as many people to come to my meetings as they do to get to theirs. That's for sure.
John, do you go around and present at various chamber meetings to talk about your organization?
I go. I haven't recently, but I've gone to Limber meetings, and I've gone to Long Island Connects meetings, and I've gone to 516 Ads meetings. Okay, primarily.
Okay.
I haven't gone to chamber.
Okay, Besim, questions for Tyler and John?
Yeah, for John, we'd love to host you at maybe in the future when things open up a little bit more, at maybe one of our breakfast meetings or one of our networking nights. I think your organization would be very, very helpful. I know that's not really a question, but that's definitely something that I wanted to get out there. What is is there any kind of requirements as far as a small business to work with the Long Island ASB, or
Not at all. No.
do you guys focus on anything more so than anything else?
We focus on education primarily. And education means that for example, we've done different things regarding social media. We've done programs on social media. We've done programs on finance. We've done programs on marketing. We've done programs on sales and so forth. We had Pete Fasullo, who is a well-known sales trainer. He gave a presentation that was very well received. We had about 40 people at the event. And we had a couple of people from social media come. But we had Bob Kraskety do a presentation on Microsoft 365 that many people have trouble with right now. So those are the things that we're involved with. And I think that's important because, as I said before, if you don't stay up with the latest in technology and sales and marketing, you're going to fall by the wayside. And I know companies that have.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, let's shift gears for a second here. Over 60% of New Yorkers have had at least one COVID vaccine in their arm. We are getting closer and closer to normalcy. My question for each of you, and I will start with you, Tyler. What does your summer look like for the Melville Chamber?
So, safety of our members and our community are number one. We are looking to stay digital, not only towards the recovery, but afterwards as well. So we're very comfortable doing our our educational events, entertainment events, going out into the field with our reporter, who, by the way, she's student teaches also, so she's fully vaccinated, our intern, who I mentioned before, and myself. And so we're happy to go out and go out to the business owners and actually go on and interview the business owners and create activity with them through being out in the field. With regards to events, I don't think we're going to be able to do our big expo that we have once a year. And I forgot to mention before, we also have an awards dinner and honor the different folks that had the accolades of the year to give back to the community with regards to their businesses, nonprofits, and so on. But I think we're known for our live events, and the big question is, when the heck are you guys coming back into the the arena again to do the restaurants and the after hours and the breakfasts and so on live? And we've talked about it. The board's talked about it. We're going to get our feet wet, hopefully sometime in June, with some sort of a controlled event. Not exactly like it used to be. We're hoping to do that, and we'll see what happens as we come along with the vaccine and with the numbers. The numbers are very low right now. I check them every day. I have an app. They're below 1% at some point, some days. So as far as the infection rate. So we'll see. We're waiting for the hotels. So the hospitality industry, another good dear friend, Christian Jarnigan, Discover Long Island, they're also confined. They can't, they're only allowed a certain capacity. And that's our big event, is the end of October at the Hilton. So we have dates locked in, not locked in, but, reserved. But we don't know yet. So to be quite honest, the answer to the question is safety first, And we can continue this digital world and build it and even make it better as we get our feet wet and get back into the field.
So much of what's planned for 2021 is back-ended. We're all hoping that, we'll get a little further into the year, but enough people will be vaccinated. Besim, what do you guys have on your agenda for the summer? I'm sure plans will be a little different, but we're moving forward clearly. What are you guys looking at?
Well, pretty much similar to Tyler. Obviously safety first. We just had a meeting about a couple of weeks ago where we sat down and looked at our calendar and said basically we can't do anything. We have to put everything on hold. We usually have, like I was saying before, our breakfast meetings, our networking nights. We do a honorary lunch for somebody here in June. That isn't going to happen. We usually do what they call a ragamuffin parade in October for Halloween for the local kids, where they can go through the village. That unfortunately is also put on hold. The drive-in movies we could have done, but we felt it wasn't lucrative. So we put that aside for now. And what else? Basically, the only thing that we're moving forward with is the farmers market, since that's an essential business and it's outdoors. It's in our lovely park here in Southampton Village, Agawam Park. I think we've added on quite a few more vendors than we had last year. So that'll be a nice plus to at least what transpired last year, when last year's farmers market was great. And we actually went probably 10 to 12 weeks longer than we normally would. We usually start in late May, early June. And I think we started early as soon as we were allowed to, and we went all the way up to Thanksgiving. Whereas normally we'd end around Columbus Day.
So you're just really hoping for a summer that's filled with a lot of support from the residents and your visitors, support of the local businesses, because you did away with a lot of your promotions and all that. What you're really looking for is for the residents to step up and support the local businesses.
Of course,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's really what is truly important for all of Main Street America, is supporting all of the mom and pop shops and all the little retail and restaurants and cafes and whatever else is out there, ice cream shops. I mean, that's where you're going to have these communities like you have in your background there. I mean, I don't know where that is, but that's a great little main street. And, it's unfortunate when you see it without any cars on it or without any activity. It looks desolate and it's not happy. So, yeah, we want the locals to shop local and support the small business. And, that's a big part of it.
Yeah. For those of you listening on the radio, I have a backdrop on my Zoom camera here, and it's of Massapequa Park. So if you can picture beautiful little downtown Massapequa Park, that's what Besim's looking at. Okay, while we have a few minutes remaining, I'd like to give our guests, I always like to do this, I'd like to give you an opportunity to talk about what you do when you're not devoting your time to your organization. John, I have seen your bio. It's impressive. Tell me what keeps you busy when you're not leading the LIASB.
I do trade shows on an international basis. Okay. And then my next trade show is the third or fourth quarter of 22. And that's when we're going to do another trade show. I'm a trade show coach and business consultant. Besides, I've been if you've read my bio, I've taught.
I did read your bio.
W Post, and I've taught at Stony Brook University. I taught 20 bioscience PhD students how to get a job. What I did. So I keep busy. I try to anyway.
Your bio is impressive. You've certainly made your mark. Besim, I know you're a very busy man. You run 2 companies. Tell my audience what you do when you're not running the Southampton Chamber.
Well, my daughter is involved in volleyball, so travel volleyball. We love to do that. That's usually at this time of the year. Unfortunately, again, this year that was put on hold. We do have a tournament coming up in AC next weekend, the 22nd or whatever that is, which we're excited to go to.
Tell me about your two companies that you run.
The two companies I run, one is the cigar store. That's in Southampton Village. I've been here for 23 years. I actually just moved my location for the fourth time. It's tough to find a good landlord-tenant relationship, but looks like I may have found one. I got a nice long-term lease. And the other business, which has been picking up lately, is a car service. So a lot of airport runs, a lot of taking people out to dinner. And and obviously my wife, she finds some honey-do lists for me too. So.
All right, Tyler, you're the ambassador and board member for the Melville Chamber. What else keeps you busy?
So I just like I do at the chamber, mentor and connect. I do the same. I work a lot with Prudential. I'm an emeritus advisor with Prudential. Emeritus, the word means honorable discharge. So I kind of work part-time. I was able to hold on to my book of business, which is financial planning business. I work a lot with corporate. I help them with their social media since I'm so good at doing it for the chamber. But we do a lot of teaming, teaching folks how to work together as teams, and also mentoring young advisors coming out of college looking to take that on as a career. So I love mentoring our youth. I love helping the youth with their careers.
Okay, gentlemen, nice job today. Special thanks to my three guests with me here this morning. Tyler Sloves, like I said, he's the ambassador and board member for the Melville Chamber of Commerce. John Hill joined us today. He's the founder and CEO of the Long Island Advancement of Small Business, also known as the LIASB. And then Besim Cukaj, he's the president of the Southampton Chamber of Commerce. My name is Mark Snider, and you've been listening to Chamber Chatter on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. Chamber Chatter is available as a podcast. You can visit WCWP.org/Chamber Chatter, and also on YouTube. You can search WCWP Studios. Chamber Chatter has been underwritten by MapTunes, Long Island Chamber Maps. As always, special thanks to my longtime friend Dan Cox. He's the director of broadcasting here at WCWP, and he's been my producer throughout the pandemic. Remember to always keep your local businesses in mind when you're making purchases or utilizing services. Yes, it's that important. Stick around for Project Independence and You. It's coming up next. Have a wonderful weekend.